Hey, how's everybody doing? My name is Roland Guerin here in New Orleans, Louisiana. I am a bass player. I'm a upright bass player, electric bass player, and I endorse Ibanez BTB basses and Fender amplifiers. And I'm here to talk to you about this Fender Rumble 500 head and the 210 cabinet. And I gotta admit, I mean, the Fender amps are pretty much the best amps that I've played so far. And they're full of expressiveness. You know, from playing upright, I'm used to using my hands and my fingers to get the tone. Usually an amplifier, I don't know, different amplifiers that I've found in the past, they have a preset tone. You know, it kind of imposes their tone on you. If you want that, that's a great thing. If you don't want it, then it's not such a great thing. What I found with the Fender amps, especially, I'll talk about it in the future, but I have their 100T also. It's a Bassman 100T and their 410 cabinet, and it's awesome. Right here with the Rumble 500, I have everything set flat right now. I can talk a little bit about the characteristic of this amp. It's, if you can think of a frequency range, it's got a wide frequency range. So, you know, it's tight if you want it to be tight, it's loose if you want it to be loose. But what it allows me to do is finesse it in a certain way. Like when I play a note, so I'm able to use my fingers to actually get the sound that I want. Right now, everything is flat. My bass is flat, the preamp is engaged. I'm playing an Ibanez BTB7. It's one of their workshop series instruments. This is totally stock. So, I mean, the amp is set flat. Also, another feature on this amplifier is the vintage button. So on the 100T, which I'll talk about later, it has this feature also, but it's a little bit, it's actually way more in depth. But okay, so I'm playing just E. When I engage it, it's wider, it's punchier, it's warmer, all from the press of a button. It's still, the amp is still flat, but on a flat setting at on the amplifier. So, you know, this is it's kind of a really neat thing if I want to get the P bass type tone. So automatically, I just chose my front pickup with the vintage setting, and I'm getting something punchy, something very usable, and something that's actually pleasing to me. When I play, I like to not worry about the settings on the amp while I'm playing, and this thing really allows me to do that. There's another thing that I want to talk about. Something that's built into the amplifier, and it's something that Fender's known for with all their amps, or with the majority of their amps, I should say. Their overdrive. Now, guitar players for years have been taking advantage of the Fender overdrive. And Fender, I mean, you know, they're one of the founders of overdrive in an amplifier. I mean, so what they've done, they have a drive knob and they have a level knob. So with this engaged, if I just set everything straight up, it's going to be really loud. Let me turn the drive down. Okay, so right there I have the level straight up and down. So at a low volume, I'm able to get nice, warm, creamy overdrive. If I turn up the drive, turn down the level to match the same, you know, just fool with it for a little while until you get it To the right. All right. Let me disengage the vintage button. So now it's more of an exact, no, it's kind of an exact match. Well, for my taste, what I usually like to do is turn back the treble some. One thing about this overdrive circuit, it adds a bit of high end punch to it as well. So, I mean, right there, if you want to, and it's the same, if you want to play light, one thing that overdrive does is allow you to sustain notes, you know, in a way that I really, 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 really like. If you want to use a little bit of it, if you want to use a lot of it, if you want to just add like a little dirt, a little grit to it, it's got it. You know. So what I'm gonna do now is back off the drive knob. All right. And you see me constantly trying to match the different sounds, or match the different volume levels, I'm sorry, with the overdrive being engaged and with it being not engaged. There's a foot switch that comes with this, or that you can get with the amp. It's an accessory, but really handy. At the back of the amp, there's a foot switch input. And, you know, you can press, instead of pressing the button, you can press the foot switch and engage or disengage the overdrive circuit. And you see me just kind of having fun. But the thing about it I like, I've tried tons and tons of overdrive pedals, trying to get a certain sound, trying to get a certain feel. But one of the most difficult things was for me to find something that was actually fast enough in tracking for bass. You know, when I would slap on it, I don't know, they didn't respond the way I wanted it to respond. I mean, so I mean, as fast as you want to play, and I'll turn the treble up just a hair so you can check it out. You know, as fast as you want to play, it responds, it reacts. To me, it's I don't know, it's kind of a human thing. There's a couple of specific things that I want to talk about concerning the Rumble 500 watt head. It is a 500 watt head, 4 ohms, 500 watts, 8 ohms, 350 watts. It's 5 pounds, it's super lightweight. Now, one of the bonuses is when you get a Rumble cabinet, there's a magnetic system that, you know, when you sit the head down, it's not a very extremely overly strong magnetic pull, but you know, if you're rumbling the cabinet on a gig or something like that, it's going to stay put. I mean, to me, that's a big plus. Another plus is right on the back of the amp, there's a very, very good DI circuit. There's an XLR out, it's got ground lift and whatnot. You can send that straight to the house. I've done it many, many times. They've, I've had different, you know, front of house or you know, stage folks come and plot that DI, you know, right by me, and I'm like, no, just take it right out the back of it. It's going to be good. Um, and a couple more features. I was mainly talking about, how great the amp sounds flat, and you can do a lot with it flat. Other than the treble, the high, mid, low, mid, bass, the overdrive circuit, there's a contour button and a bright button. So the contour is like a mid-range scoop. If you want an even older kind of, sound, I can give a demonstration of it too. I'm going to disengage the overdrive circuit. All right, make sure everything is flat once more. But I do have my my neck pickup still going. Okay. So if I press the contour button in, it's a quick way to get a mid-range scoop. If I go ahead and press or engage the bright button, it's kind of not just treble. It's like on different amps that I've checked out and played in the past. It's almost like a kind of a transparency high. It's like the upper frequencies in the higher spectrum, which is good. I mean, you can fool around and get a great combination. Add a little bit of that, back off of the treble or back off of something else, and just kind of shape it to the way you want it, or just go ahead and play it flat. Now, also behind the amp, there's a couple of nifty tools, I should say. They're two input jacks. One is a headphone input. It's 1/8, and the other one is an auxiliary input. If you have whatever kind of phone or musical device, you can actually play music through it, plug the headphones in, and shed along with it, which I think is pretty cool because you can do the whole silent, thing, which is great. So there's a lot packed into this thing, which there's also an effects loop, send and return, so you can get a very clean signal throughout your effects and, or using your effects. So this is really good. I guess to wrap it all up, you get a great sounding head, a great price. I think street price is about $399, and it's almost unheard of. It's incredible, and it's not just a thing I'm saying. I really, really, really love this thing. Lightweight. It comes with a carrying bag. You can carry your cords in it, and the amp. Good shoulder strap. I can't ask for much more in a lightweight package that really kicks. Last performance I did in Minneapolis, I traveled with it, popped it in my suitcase, plugged it in the speaker cabinet that the club had, and I was rocking. So I'm going to be talking about more gear, more things that I use, more things that are I consider my tools for presenting music, throughout. So until next time, stay tuned.